All right. So both sides seem ready to start. So we have a Trapper, DC Sin, Liberator. A lot of chaos right now. Fireballer seems to be landing a lot of damage on the Hammerden. For now, Grim sitting back, going in. Instantly deletes the Sork. Chum being very safe in the back. And yeah, seems like a very clean duel. 1-0. Alright, second round's about to start. Go! So GA from the start trying to snipe. Paladin going in. Sork got a pretty good decent chunk of damage in. Diesel's still alive. Sork trying to kind of in defense mode against the Paladin, and two players can barely make work of this Paladin. He's still around and still alive. Storm is dead, and there we go. Paladin finally goes down. Here comes the Trapper. I think it's yeah, 2v1 setup using PH to stun the Sork, and there comes the Dragon Claw in. One key, very good combo. One keeping the target on hit recovery, and the other going in for the massive Dragon Claw hits. Keep in mind that in D2R, all the martial finisher moves, Dragon Talon, Dragon Claw, Dragon Tail, and Dragon Flight, do not have a defense or block check. So it's essentially a smite, except it hits on 1000 damage instead of just like 500 or 700. So yeah, pretty devastating there. So we'll see, that's 2-0. Third round about to start. Here it goes. GA from upstream, Blizzard coming in. Paladin going in. 1 against 3, runs out. Chum on the sides are coming with the traps. Grim went in, but he's kind of safe behind this little pillar here, and instantly jumps in and is able to kill the Zon with Dragon Claw. LLD falls right after. So another very quick duel for Chum's team. Well done. All right, and here comes the fourth round. Blizzard coming in, but again, that Paladin going in, doing 2 hammers and running out. Here comes Chum landing a couple of traps, completely shooting at the Sork. Devastating hits. She was completely luck and couldn't move. Another very quick swipe for Chum's team, unfortunately. And here comes the final round, potentially, if they can win. Here comes the Hammerden going in. Taking some damage, but not too much. Chum again, landing some traps. But this time, my team is actually mobile. They're going, flanking from the side. And here goes the Sin. He's dying. Is this the first sign of a win for KA's team? Chum is still alive up here, and his ally also went down, so now it's a 1v2 situation for Chum. Real question is, will he be able to deal with both a Fireball Sork and a Blizzard Sork? Oh, one goes down. Not too sure what HP he's at right now, but LLD seems to be dancing around him, trying to get a good angle, but he was at low HP and it wasn't not enough. So Chum's team wins 5-0. Good duels.
I'm gonna mute for half a second to talk to stream.
I'm not sure if Manowar is trying to kill him or he's just whirlwinding. I think he's going for his teammates, so.
Manowar with the scoop. Ferdy with the... Oh, shit.
Cheers.
Oh, the Leaper's still in? Uh-oh.
He's
He's fucked.
the leap with the fucking traps. Oh my god.
Leap against Zon, the beauties. Oh man,
Yup.
that was beautiful. Oh man.
That's so impressive.
I just made a cup of tea there. Just made a cup of tea, came back, watch Ferdia getting raped by a leap barb. I almost spurted my coffee all over the PC.
Yeah, for this tournament, Leap is GM in Team Duel.
Who said that?
The one
We'll
place
split
where
up.
Leap is super powerful compared to other places.
Yeah, we're just gonna allow for
Arreat
this one.
Summit.
Yeah.
All on Frog, man. Mr. Frogs.
Anyone got some Jeopardy music?
Wonder how much somebody would charge to get a little gif or a little signature of Ferdia running away from a leap barb and getting absolutely raped.
I would definitely rock that as my tag.
Oh, too
See him
right.
in like mid fucking animation or dodge animation.
I mean, look at that. 2 for 2 almost. Come on, you can do it. Oh man, Boomer. Boomer going in.
Who are the teams?
Team 3 and 4.
Is it Ferdia, Fawn, and...
Fredia is
Sean.
fun.
Oh, okay.
Where are they adding the new team lineups? Is it on the Discord or on Jan?
Borbs.
Yeah.
Here it goes.
Well, maybe he gets knocked out this round.
What is the score right now, actually?
2 for 2.
2-2.
Close
Yeah,
game.
Mana War just keeps going for the Sorkin.
Oh yeah, he doesn't give a fuck. He goes in 1v3.
Is that Boomer?
Yes, that's Boomer.
Yeah, okay.
Just see that huge leap.
Oh,
Yeah, that would be a cool way to spectate.
Why
Oh,
is he just
shit.
playing items though?
yeah.
We can't
Turn
see
off
the map.
items. I can't type. It's like, this is a good ear. This is a good portal.
Oh, Ferdia
Oh wait,
is.
so the spin? Oh, it's over with.
Yeah, it's over. He's letting him. Okay, good. So 2-3 for 3-2 for Ferdia's team.
People wanted to see the ears, so I was putting the ears down.
Okay.
All right,
Yeah,
muting.
where's your...
I wonder if they should reset the map too. Does it reset if they all leave?
You mean for the traps? They could just all leave it for 30 seconds and it disappears in town, I think.
I think we tested. I could be wrong on this, but I think we tested it and it doesn't reset if I don't. If I
It doesn't reset if we're at the end of the stairs, but in town it should.
in town. Okay, cool.
I think so.
Yeah, I couldn't remember where we landed on that. Yeah.
Imagine if he was partied with them and just inciting the whole time.
He's allowed. Oh, Manowar, he's alive. Boomer, here it goes. 1v2, 3v1. I mean.
Oh, he's
Those
alive.
are huge leap, man.
But imagine that with a tele staff lead
Hey, I
barb.
wish I was in that match. That right there would be perfect. They're all chasing after that Necro, just run them motherfuckers straight through with Hammerfield.
This is leaping along. I love it, dude.
They kill the trapper, they basically win, I think. I want to go into Ferdia's chat and hear his voice, what he's saying. He's probably like, fuck!
You can go. Just don't say anything. Don't disturb them.
You want to hear 30? It'll be 1, 2, 3. Let's get it.
He's like, fuck.
Does leap go through obstacles? They don't, right?
Start again, Wolf.
Does leap goes through obstacles? The knockback, or you're safe if you're behind a pillar?
I think you're safe if you're behind.
Okay. Boomer kills a dude. I mean, this is legit. It's working. Whirlwind Barb, Leap, and Trapper. Hell yeah, brother. Wow. Frog just going everywhere. Frog's dead. 2v1.
Oh, Frog's down.
Oh, I think the Chips might win this, yeah. Well done. Very close.
I wonder if I can change some settings here. Oh, they're good.
I think the only comment I would have about it is having like the individual person in the bottom right hand corner rather than over the kill feed. That's the only part that sucks. Shit.
Oh, she got out.
All the devs need to do is assign a different color to a spectator.
He could join a teams, so one is green, the other is red.
Yeah, I thought about that too.
How is the barb not dead? Even when with pride, if a fucking bleep barb got close to the kickstand, it should eat him.
Spirit Barb.
Oh wait, he's got a DR, so no, they might be able to get him low, but they won't be able to finish him off. So many traps all over the ground. He's not fucking, the Necro hasn't used walls though. That's the only thing I've noticed. He hasn't popped out a wall. He's dumping all these spirits but not walling them.
That's a good point, actually.
Alright, and here it goes. Pretty defensive for now. Hammered in, going in. Two hammered ins going in, kind of getting close, but red team is getting being pretty defensive. Windy Nato trying to tilly stomp Chum, but he knows better, moving around. Hammered ins took a bit of damage, about a fourth of their HP gone, but nothing too major. So it's two hammered ins and Trapper against two fireballers and Tilly Windy Druid. Very interesting matchup. Here, a lot of fireballs landing on Dragon Knight, but it's okay, he's still half HP, but a pretty significant punishment. And red team is still somewhat defensive, being on their side, sticking together, not being too scattered. Really well played. It's hard for Hammerdins to approach these kind of tactics. So they're still sitting on their corner, being together. Hammers running around, trying to get an angle, and doing a lot of in and outs. But both Hammerdins are really low HP. One goes down by a Fireball Sork. The other is less than 100 HP, out of mana as well, swapping to Insight to regain mana. Chum still trying to get an angle to land some positional lightning sentries on the ground, but Fireball Sorks are still happily playing defensive. Bowie Jester with his Fireball Sork going a bit too deep and dying to some hammer field. So now it's 2 against 2. One paladin is really low HP, and we're kind of unaware of what their HP is from the other side. Oh, I kind of missed that. I think, yeah, the Windy Druid is dead, so now only one Fireball Sork is remaining, which is Bowie. So both Malice and Chum are kind of sitting in the middle, taking them as much space as possible to prevent the Sork from running around. But she's playing. She's not being a fool. She's trying to flank, get some fireballs in, reposition, and so both Chum and Malice are kind of being very, very careful, because it's a Fireball Sork is potentially very dangerous. You don't want to be careless and get hit by 130 damage fireballs. And here goes Chum in, but no really follow-ups on that. So still going from corner to corner, trying to get some fireball snipes. Malice is very low on life, and he gets taken down as soon as he sees that he's isolated from the traps. Bowie goes in for the kill. Well done there. Chum still trying to get an angle. A lot of pillars around, so line of sight not always easy to find. But he's full HP. He's full HP against a potentially low-ish HP of a Fireball Sork. So we'll see how it goes. Here he comes for a stomp, but Chum was ready. He moved right away. Jade being chill for a bit, letting regenning her mana. It must mean her HP is somewhat low. Chum is still keeps the pressure on by putting traps a bit everywhere. That way, there's not really a lot of angles that Bowie can approach him from. He's still trying to going corner from corner, buying time, get back some mana. Chum is in no hurry. He doesn't see a reason to Dragonfly until now. He goes in. Kind of hard to see what's going on behind the pillar, but he takes maybe 1 or 2 fireballs to the face. Not the end of the world. Not too sure how much damage he landed there. Jade is still going from corner to corner, trying to land some fireballs, but he doesn't seem to be casting much. I think he's more on catching up. He's trying to get some mana back. He casted 1 and goes away right away. Chum recasts his clone. Perhaps he will cast Psychic Hammer to buy some time, but he instantly dies to a fireball. And something to keep in mind with Shadow Warrior is whenever they die and you resummon it, there's a 6-second downtime before you can cast Dragonflight, so your mobility is really reduced. Chum's still trying to get an angle to approach him, putting traps a bit everywhere, but Bowie teleports away. Tries to get an angle in between pillars, kind of cat and mouse really. There's a lot of pillars around blocking line of sight, so it's really easy to find a spot where you're safe. I think 1 fireball landed. No, it didn't. It was claw blocked. So Jay trying to find another angle to attack Chum, but he teleports right away. I think Chum landed a bit here. Not too sure on their HP yet. Chum again putting a bit of traps a bit everywhere, trying to cover as much terrain as possible. But these pillars are not making it easy. So here comes a stomp. Chump was ready. He dodges it. Didn't get hit by a single one. Oh, here comes the stomp. 1 or 2 fireballs landed, but Chum has some buffer HP. He's okay. Here comes what, 1, 2 lightning sentry shots landed. But keep in mind that regarding energy shield Sorks, because they take reduced damage from oh, there we go. Chums takes the round. Well done. Because energy shield Sorks have damage reduced under energy shield, it makes magic damage reduced items like Viper Magi and SOE much stronger. So trap damage are heavily reduced. Obviously, it's a guarantee hit, but it's guaranteed damage, but it takes a very long time to kill an energy shield Sork. So on to match 2. All right, match 2 about to start. Some traps in the middle of the map. Both Hammerdins hugging each other, making hammered fields in the middle, but no way that the red team is going to walk through that. Here comes the Windy Druid. Gets punished by a PH, but doesn't really take any damage. So well done, Telestomp. Didn't achieve anything, but he didn't take much punishment for that. So both sides are pretty much sticking together as a team. Here comes the Telenado Druid. Takes a bit of damage, but not the end of the world. The Paladins are being very defensive. Dragon Knight took a bit of damage, but nothing to be really scared of. And the Nado Druid sees an opportunity, goes in, but instantly dies, probably in some hammer field of sorts. There's 2 Hammerdids, not just one. So it's really easy to make a mistake and go in and instantly die. So now it's 2 Fireball Sorks sticking together, being in the corner, trying to get an angle and fire Sorks, but the Hammerdins don't seem to take the bait. They maintain a safe distance and let the Trapper root them out with traps. Both Fire Trappers, Fireballers are kind of sticking together as a team. They're trying to get angles with Fireball, but both Hammerdins are not really chasing them. There's not really a point. Fireballers are really high range, whereas Hammerdins are somewhat positional. Oh my god. Jester goes in, gets caught by a good 4 or 5 hammers right in the middle. That must hurt. He's probably less than 25% HP left. Good punishment there. It really goes to show how the center of the map is really dangerous, especially against Hammerdins. So having control of it is a very good advantage. But all that being said, Dragon Knight goes in, tries to get some hammers in, but gets caught, dies, and now Jade went in as well and also died. So both Fireball Sork and Chum's team wins 2-0. Match 3 about to start, and here it goes. Both Hammerdins being on the side, really cautiously approaching, making hammer fields in the middle. But did you see here Bowie going on the side, not going in the middle, trying to fireball near the middle without going there himself? Meanwhile, Chum flanks from the bottom, lays traps, and slowly advances against the Elemental Druid. Elemental Druid goes down to Malice, which is a Hammerdin. I'm guessing he got caught without wolves out, unfortunately. So that's the second time he dies pretty quickly in the duel, leaving both Fireballs to fend for themselves. Not a biggie. Fireballs are really strong characters, and again, both Hammerdins go back to the strategy of controlling the middle, giving Chum a lot of space to put traps a bit everywhere and make it difficult for Sorks to approach their enemies. But they're playing very far apart. One on the left, the other on the right, and they're shooting towards the middle. Some fireballs did land on the Hammerdins, but not too many. So they're still. So now both Sorks are together, shooting near to the middle. Some of them land. Chum also being very safe. It's really important that the Trapper, which has the highest reach in the game, stays healthy. That way, if both Hammerdins are dead, he can be alive against Fireball Sorks and be able to actually clean them up. Whereas for a Hammerdin, it's really hard to approach Sorceress because they have to be literally point blank to damage them. So if a Hammerdin dies, it's not the end of the world, but the Trapper dying is really important. And Dragon Knight taking a whole bunch of Fireballs damage in the face, swapping to Partisan Insight to give Chum some mana back. I don't think Chum has an Insight himself. He has 2 trap damage claws and 2 pre-buff claws to cast Burst of Speed. So they both go in. Both Sorks survived. They probably took some damage, but nothing deadly yet. Oh, Chum Dragon Flood on one of them. I'm not sure on the damage that he did, but nobody was there to follow up, so it was kind of wasted. I think he took 1 or 2 fireballs in the face. Again, both Hammerdins. One staying in the middle with Insight, giving his party some mana in the eventuality that he dies and Chum is left alone without Insight. So a lot of longevity in that team. Though Malice is very low HP, 1 or 2 fireballs will make short work of him, and he's really aggressive against Bowie's Fireballer. I'm not sure if he landed anything. I'm not sure. Okay, so both. Did one die? I think I missed one. Yeah, I think Jester died. So only one fireball is remaining. Even though like it's still not over. Both Hammerdins are really low, and Chum is half HP. Probably got punished by 2 or 3 fireballs when he was careless. So Bowie finding some good angles, never going in the middle. That's a minefield. So he's always going on the side around the map, shooting towards the middle, where where there's the safest bet that someone is there. And unfortunately, he probably gets caught in some hammer field and dies. It's 3-0 for Chum's team. All right, both teams are about to start. Green team are ready, bunched up together. Red team is ready. Both say go and they start. Fireballs near the middle. Oh, and one of them connect against Dragonite. Trapper clone dies instantly. Jay trying to flank Chum on the side, but Chum being very near his allies, very safe. It's hard to land fireballs, but oh my god, Dragonite got hit by like a good 4 fireballs in the face by 2 different fire sorks. They're still controlling the middle. Middles on the Telenado Druid is still trying to find an angle to approach them. So far nothing. It's really hard to approach 2 Hammerdins controlling the middle with huge minefields everywhere. Dragonite very low HP by several fireballs. You see how these are landing every time. Very well aimed by both fireball players. So far, Middles doesn't really see a reason to go in because they're kind of outranging it, 2 range against 1. So for now, there's not really a reason to go in. He's standing aside and playing very, very safely. And that's a very good strategy because look at that. 2 fireball Sork took out one of their Hammerdins. So yeah, just keeping alive, keeping that oak up. Very, very good strategy. He's staying alive. That way, when it's safe to go in, he can actually be relevant. But even playing safely, notice his HP is already 1/4 of his HP back. Very hard to approach 2 Hammerdins and a Trapper on a Telenado Druid. So both fireballs trying to find angles, trying to find opportunities to land damage. Malice out of mana, and I'm not sure if he has an insight. Yes, he just swapped. I just saw him. So yes, he has an insight, but he's 1 fireball away from death. So far this looks like the first win for Red Team. All 3 of them are alive. I'm not sure what their HP are. I know Telenado Druid is under 25% HP, but I would wager that both Sorks are very healthy, unless one of them ran into some Hammerfield of sorts. But yeah, so far not too bad. Chum landing some Psychic Hammer, trying to give an opportunity for Malice to go in, but honestly he's so low HP that at this point he's just a meditation stick. He's not really relevant unless he tries to find some good hammer fields that can catch people off guard. But he's 1 fireball of death. He just got a hit, and 1 more hit and he's dead. Jester died, so 1 fireball Sork is left. I'm not sure if the Telenado Druid died. I don't see his body anywhere. Let me check. Yeah, I'm not sure where he went. He's not on the map, but I think he died. So only Bowie is left against half HP Chum and out of mana and out of HP Malice. He swaps to his insight, gives some mana to himself back and his ally. But Chum, I know Chum has a very good mana inventory. He probably doesn't need it for now. He didn't. It wasn't like a very long drawn out duel yet. But good job on Malice for still staying alive, still out of mana. Has to swap to inside again. Chum trading some hits against Bowie. Bowie running out of there. Probably very hard to escape or even be safe in this map. It's a very close quarter map, so yes, you can run away and go around circles, but the fact remains that you can cover half the map with traps, and it's very hard to go somewhere safe and cast from afar. So very, very favored map for positional damagers like trappers. So far, fireballs have done pretty good. I think there's 3 of them in the semifinals, and unfortunately 2 of them ended up in the same team. And for once, Bowie actually had the control of the middle for a bit there, and Malice still manages to stay alive, plays very, very safely. keep his meditation up, let his replenish life ticking up. Maybe he can tank 1 or 2 fireballs more. Oh, one came really close to killing him. And Chum taking a lot of damage there and going back to about 25% HP. And Bowie is able to land a killing struck against Malice. So now it's 1 against 1, and I have no idea what HP Bowie has. So 25% HP Trapper against Energy Fireball, Fireball Sork. Not too sure who is favored against that. Probably the Trapper. It's he doesn't have to stay still and cast things to do damage, whereas Bowie has very limited space to approach his enemies to do damage, and he's limited by line of sight. Whereas traps, you can have several traps around, and they each have their own line of sight, so you can cover much more ground way easier than if you're a Sork of sorts. So far, Chum doing a good job of not getting hit by any fireballs, but just as I say that, he gets hit by one, and I don't think Jade took any damage retaliation. Not too sure how low Bowie is. I think I will host them, and no, I don't think I want to host them just yet. I should have done that in the beginning, but it's a mistake I won't do in the future. But yeah, I should be able to in the future to look at everyone's HP by hosting everyone and having them on host me. So right now, I know Chum is very low, and I suspect that that Bowie is low as well, but I'm not sure. So now Bowie playing defensively, Chum chasing him around, trying to cautiously being around pillars, not having too much line of sight. Here comes a stomp attempt from Bowie, but Chum was ready, and only a single lightning strike hit was enough to kill him. So good duel. I think it's 4-0. I think it's 4-0. Yeah, it's 4-0. So one more duel potentially, and then that match is over. So on to the potentially final match. All right, we're back, boys. This time we're watching Bowie stream, because we had 2 spectators in their game, and it was really distracting for the duelers. So I hopped in on his stream, and I'll just cast the game from his perspective. So far, yeah, both green and red team are sticking together. Both Hammerdins are in the center, trying to control that area with their hammer fields. Chum trying to cover ground with his traps, staying very safe afar. Fireballers trying to flank around and try some good openings with line of sight with fireballs. But notice how all those pillars are such a nuisance for any characters that rely on line of sight, such as fireballers, perhaps even bone necros. I would also arguably say the same thing for Hammerdins, but I mean, so far, Hammerdins, even though they're not ideal in short corridors, they're still they allow you to control so much of the map. So very good trade there. Bowie picking up a kill against a Hammerdin that gets close. Oh, Malice runs out of mana, charges absolutely nothing, and gets punished by 3 fireballs. Chum, I suspect, is somewhat high HP, but keep in mind this is potentially the final match. If Bowie's team loses that match, they're all they're eliminated from the tournament. So right now they regen some HP from the inside staff of the Tornado Druid, which is making a good job of staying alive. Remember that it's really easy for Tornado Druid to go in and instantly gets punished by a stomp. He's against 2 Hammerdins, so he's playing very safe, making sure his teammates' mana orbs are really high. You might believe that Insight Sork is really strong when it's paired with Insight, and it's one of the reasons why it's banned. Insight ES Sorks cannot use Insights on their own, but the fact that they need an ally to wield it was allowed for this one tournament. And even though they take a lot of reduced damage because of energy shield, they still take damage. I believe 43% of all damage taking to them is taking as damage. So even though their mana orb is always full, they're never like, it's not a 95% energy shield, so you can always damage them. So both, notice how Jester and Middle's Teleport NATO Druid are both super low HP. They'll probably die for 1 or 2 hammers each, or a good angle from Chum's trap. So Chum approaches them very carefully, plays safely, lays traps, run around, remains mobile. He's about 33% HP, so a lot of people are low here. Bowie kind of being aggressive here. He has a full mana orb, so there's no reason to, but Chum moving atrociously fast, just dodging around like a ninja, not getting hit by anything. Look at him run around. He's letting traps do damage for him while he dodges around, but there's 2 teleport swords on him, so he's kind of playing cat and mouse there. Bowie gets low on mana, retreats back. His insight bot player is still alive. Good for them, but look how low HP they are. All 3 of them are under 25% HP. So all it takes is one bad play and it's over. I think only Chum is remaining. Yeah, Dragonite and Malice are dead. So here goes Bowie, trying to play very, very, very safely, but it's not enough. 2 Fireball Swords going around, damaging them. Well done. Their first win, it's 1-4 for Bowie's team. And a triple kill too. Well done. Alright, so 6th match about to start. It's 1-4 in favor of Chum's team. So there's a lot of clawing back to do for Bowie's team to crawl out of that loss. But you know what? I think they found a pretty good formula. They have 2 Energy Shield Sork and a character that has Insight, so they can play very defensively, shoot from afar, keep their mana orb very high, and try to mitigate as much damage as possible. And here starts the duel. Let me just maximize this real quick. There we go. So right away, green team, very healthy. I'm not sure if a couple of fireballs landed. We didn't see any name locks, but so far, yeah, the Hammerdins are playing a bit more defensively. Notice how they kind of abandoned the middle, and they said to themselves, we're no longer taking free damage from that snipe from afar, so we'll just try to stay behind pillars, try to let the trapper deal damage for us, and when they come in, we'll try to come in on that. So that's what I assume is their is how they're thinking right now. And so far, Bowie taking 125 damage out of a pool of 800. So a very slow duel to start with. I think both sides realize how important these matches are. These are the semifinals, and if Bowie's team loses once, they're out of the tournament automatically. This is not double elimination. If you lose a single first to 5, you're out. And Bowie takes 1 hammer in the face, I think. He also had some lingering damage. I think he got hit by a lightning strike that was meant at his Tornado Druid. So yeah, half orb. Not too sure if what they're doing is working. We're not really seeing what kind of damage they're doing. It's kind of spray and pray towards the enemy team. It's really dangerous to navigate in this map, but look at that. Here came Chum, landed 1 or 2 traps, a couple of Psychic Hammer, maybe 1 or 2 hits landed, and yeah, that's good enough. You can poke slowly. There's no rush really. It's a very dangerous matchup. If you do your sorceresses, if you do any mistakes whatsoever, you can be heavily punished against 2 Hammerdins. So they're playing really nicely, and the Hammerdins also, if you notice, they're playing somewhat differently than the last duels. In the last couple of duels, they were kind of in the middle, controlling the space, giving them more space to the trapper, but they realigned their strategies. This time they're staying close to the pillars, and 1 Hammerdin snipes a kill on the Tornado Druid. So no more insights for the both Sorks. They're north. So far they're safe. It seems like they're at least Bowie's mana orb is very healthy, but there's no real reason to ever engage on them because you don't really see where the hammer fields are. It's probably always a better idea to stay afar and just shoot fireballs. Oh, and did you guys see that? There were 1 or 2 traps hidden behind pillars, and as soon as he teleported in, he got instantly punished. Took like 100 damage from 1 or 2 traps. So you see, notice how when he's low on mana, he is not casting Firebolt or Teleport. He just stands still and waits it out. And that's probably the ideal situation to do, because Firebolt, even though costs almost no mana, is severely less damage than Fireball Sork. Oh, I think he clicked on the door by mistake, but no biggie. It was just a 1 second mistake. As I was saying, Firebolt is way lower mana, but also damage. So there's no real reason for you to make your mana regen longer if you're gonna do like only 20 or 40 damage per Firebolt. It's probably just a better idea to wait it out and let your mana regen faster, and then go back to Fireball and Teleport. And Buoy pretty low HP, down to 25%. Jester at 50%, and I saw Chum at about 40% HP, so I assume he didn't get hit by anything else. But Malice also at 25% HP, so this could be really dangerous really soon. And I think Chum is somewhat low. I think I saw him at like 20% HP just now. Probably Jester that landed some fireballs on him. So far, both Sorceress playing really safe. Both Hammerdins are kind of approaching, but not really. They know, oh my god, Malice Fearless going in, but not really stopping to cast hammers. Probably knows how dangerous it is. Buoy very low on mana and HP, so he's going to chill a bit for the corner. But here comes Chum to kind of root him out with his traps, but they were kind of mispositioned, so he was hidden by pillars, and Jester snipes the kill against Chum, and now it's 2 Fireball Sorks against 2 Hammerdins, I think. Yeah, now only 1 Hammerdin is remaining. Malice, he's not a Liberator, he's a pure Hammerdin, so I mean, it's heavily favored for the Fireball Sorks. There was a chance, but there we go. They win it, so they're back 2-4. So is this the dream coming true? The comeback on its way, boys. So moving on soon to match number 7. 7th duel about to start. Chum team is ready. Not sure if they're going to revisit their strategies, maybe being a bit more aggressive this time, because even if both teams are sitting back, it seems like the Fireball Sork team is advantaged because they have 2 ranged characters shooting instead of just 1. So obviously these are very close duel, and I can see them going either way. But I mean, they were super close duels, even though Buoy's team won. So maybe one short mistake is enough to lose the tournament right there. The stakes are pretty high. So I can understand why Buoy's team wants to play defensively. You have a defender's advantage if the other team comes to you. But I mean, maybe Chum's team might get restless and be like, well, we're going to change our strategy. We'll see what happens. So far, I think, well, at least Chum is very healthy on his trapper. Unsure on the Fireball Sorks. It's most of the fight when you play Fireball Sork goes off screen, so it's really hard to see what kind of damage you're doing, if stuff is landing or not. We just saw the HP of one of the Hammerdins. He was pretty much a full HP. I think both Hammerdins are full HP, both Dragon Knight and Malice. So so far, pretty uneventful. Some damage trading. Malice doing a good job of remaining high HP, but he's kind of alone there. He was in the middle of 3 of them without his teammate, and he gets heavily punished for it. I think he has he's half HP. So small mistake there. Chum also taking a huge chunk of damage, but I don't think from Buoy. I think Jester landed that damage. Otherwise, we would have noticed it. The Dragon Knight trying to land some hammers on some sorceress, but he had the perfect angle and he was not able to land some damage. So far, very favored for Buoy's team here. He's still full HP, full mana orb. The NATO Druid keeps his inside out, keep the mana orb of both Fireball Sorks really healthy, so they can both maintain their damage reduction up all the time. So they're always operating at 57% damage reduction. Malice really low there. I think he's 3 fireballs off death, so he has to be very careful here. Chum, I think he's half HP, but look at that. Now Red's team is on a corner against the ropes, and both fireballers are just sending fireballs their way, exploding into the wall and into their face. So it's a very hard it's a very harsh position to be in. But yeah, so far very favored for Bowie's team. It seems like they're changing up their strategy and having the Tornado Druid not be as aggressive and standing back, giving his insight is actually the right call. And both Sork being like very, very safe. Because against Hammerdens, there's no real reason to get close, really. So you could always fight off screen. You stay on the map, but off screen, and it would always advantage you. And notice there, Malice ran out of mana and instantly got punished by a couple of fireballs in the face, so he has to run back and inside it up. Chum really low as well. I think he's like 3 fireballs off death, and Malice goes down right away. Middle's still pretty healthy HP. And I'm not sure if this strategy is gonna work. They standing back in hammer fields and letting Chum do damage, I don't think will work. They have to be aggressive, otherwise they might slowly lose this round. They were up 4-0, and now it's looking really grim for Chum's team. All they need is one win, a single win. Maybe they're counting on their opponents making mistakes, and that's a fair strategy. But I think once something does not work and you lose 3 in a row, you have to change your strategy. Try to find something weird. And Chum running around pillars, trying to bait them into stomping and killing them. But unfortunately, 2 Sorks is way too much. He's able to kill 1, but Bowie picks up the kill, and now they're up 3-4 against Chum's team. So the comeback is real. Keep the dream alive, boys. Match number 8 underway. They're waiting for the opponent's go. Oh my god. And here it goes. So this is match number 8. Right away, Malice gets in there, gets stuck on a wolf, but fortunately for him, there was no one here for him to punish him. So that mistake goes unpunished. Good for red team. But notice how they're way more aggressive this time. Both Hammerdens going in right away, kind of wanting the blood of Middles there, chasing the Tornado Druid. He knows how important he is, but if they keep the pressure on him, he cannot stay with his inside out. He has to teleport out. So that means less uptime on the mana orb of his teammates. And right away, Malice dies to Jester's Fireball Sork. Probably went out of mana and couldn't go out, unfortunately. So he's against the rope, but I'm pretty sure, yeah. Also, the Tornado Druid died as well, so only both Fireball Sorks are left alive. This time, they don't have an insight to keep them alive, so they'll stay together. They'll play defensively, but they pretty much won't have permanently up mana pool. So now they have to actually slow down a bit the rhythm of the duel, and they can get punished easily. And look how good of an angle Chum gets there. Bowie stays a little bit too much. He gets hit by a whole bunch of lightning sentry hits, instantly punished, but he's able to teleport out. No biggie. You have to remind yourself that Mind Blast is banned for this tournament because Blizzard took out WSG. People are no longer able to run out of trap stun locks. So to make the duels safe-ish, not safe-ish, but not as lame, we decided to remove Mind Blast for trappers. You may use Mind Blast, but not in conjunction with traps in 1v1, but for team duels we removed it altogether. And notice how both Sorks are they're trying to find a corner to replenish life, but there's nowhere is safe. There are traps everywhere, so there's no really safe haven to stand around and not be trapped. Chum is trying to cover a lot of ground with his traps, and he's doing a very good job of it. I'm not sure if one of the Hammerdens is left alive. Both... Yeah, the Hammerden is alive. I'm not too sure what HP he's at right now, but both Sork are pretty low. Bowie at 25% HP and Jester at 30% HP. So they have to play very safe, very slowly, look at their screen carefully before teleporting, which is really hard because Arreat Summit is a very bright map because of the snow on the ground. So lightning hits or bone spirit hits are very hard to distinguish compared to like, say, if you were dueling on Bloodmoor. So they got some kind of breathing room. They go in the middle of the map, but they get punished by lightning sentries. He instantly loses 50% 50 HP right there. I'm not sure if he was able to trade and land some fireballs in exchange of it, but so far, yeah, they're kind of going corner to corner, trying to get back their mana pool. Chum chasing them with traps, covering a lot of ground. Dragonite doing a good job of staying alive, not being hit by not being hit by how do you call these by fireballs. He's playing near his teammate, and he's not making himself vulnerable to fireballs. Instead, I mean, his presence is not that relevant because it's not as if like Sorks will run into Hammerfields, but it's possible that they get cocky of sorts. They go in for a stomp and they can get hammered or some random Hammerfield. So staying alive is never a bad thing for an ally, even if your presence is not that relevant. He can still wield insight. I think Bowie changed his setup. He doesn't seem to have a 105 faster cast rate anymore. I think he's at 63 right now. By the way, how slow he's casting. He probably swapped out his faster cast rate belt in favor of String of Ears. The 15 MDR on it offers a lot of damage reduction against lightning trappers, so it's probably a very worth it trade. And there comes Dragonite close, probably trying to land some charge damage, but he gets punished by Bowie. He's one fireball off death. Bowie, Chum leaving the game. I'm not sure what happened, either a crash or some sorts, but they were mid-duo, so these one we cannot void, unfortunately. So only Dragonite is left. Yeah, this was too far in the game to void. All right, the duel comes back in. Chum crashed, but it was decided that he would not heal in town and just go back in and continue the duel. Obviously, that's not ideal because both Sork can go back to full HP, and they have some rep of their own as well. But I mean, it's the same thing for the Paladin. He probably has way more rep than the Sork. So that's the agreement that both teams came to. I agree with it. As much as possible, I try to not jump in with my opinions and all that, even though I'm the tournament admin. It's probably a better idea to let people resolve things on their own. I'll only come in when there's a disagreement. And so far, it was agreed. So yeah, it's not the ideal situation, but I mean, it's either that or Chum loses on the spot because he crashed, right? So it's way better to allow for a chance to win that duel. So it's 2 against 2. Chum is about half HP. I think Dragonite also reached about 30% HP, something like that. Both Sork had ample opportunity to regen their life. I think I saw Bowie at like 125 HP. Now he's at 225. So yeah, so far pretty. Oh my God, Bowie's taking a lot of damage from the traps, some random traps laid around the map. So he has to chill a little bit for his mana orb to come back up. Jester, I think Jester was caught by Chum for a little bit. I'm not sure if Chum equipped open wounds. He seemed to say that he did, but I'm not too sure. So far, both sides playing very defensively. Both sides are really, really low on HP, so every mistake can be the death of you. Chum is really low HP, 25%. I saw a name lock on Dragonite, but I didn't see his HP, but it seemed he was low because he just died to Jester. Now it's 2 Fireball Sorks against Chum. It's winnable. It will be hard. They're both low HP. All Chum has to do is not get hit by fireballs. A very tall order. Easy to say, but not easy to do. So he's trying to, again, cover a lot of ground with his traps, position himself to not get fireballed. We'll see what happens. Both Sorks are really low, but you have to keep in mind that they're energy shield Sorks, so they're very, very tanky, even though their HP is low. So Chum, last man standing there, dying. So now it's up to 4-4, up to the final match. Final match about to start. It's 4-4. So as soon as one team dies, they move into the finals. This is a very, very surprising outcome. They were down 0-4 and crawled back up 4-4 when they kind of realized that they couldn't. A druid that was dead was no good to them, and they swapped their strategies, staying defensive, keeping the druid alive. And look at that, he gets chunked to like 10% HP, almost on the brink of death, but doing a good job of staying alive, being the inside bot. All right, so the Hammerdins are back to controlling the middle. Both Sorks Bowie is very healthy, but Jester took a bit of damage there. He's down to 66% HP. Oh my god! And I think Bowie just got caught by a hammer, loses like 1 or 200 HP. I'm not too sure how much. Retreating back to his druid for the mana orb. Dragon Knight taking a lot of fireball damage. But did you guys see that sync? He actually bugged out. He was getting hit by fireballs, but he was like actually somewhere else. That's really weird. And Malice finally kills the NATO druid. So both Sorks back against the ropes on the final match, 2 against 3, and no more insight to keep them alive. Bowie sidesteps, not seeing a trap there, gets hit by two or three hits. They're really hard to see in this map because of the snow covering on the ground. So they're trying to catch a little breather, regen some mana, try to deal some damage. They're just aiming down at the bottom. Malice getting caught by a couple of fireballs just before, but now he's doing a good job of dodging things, being a resource burden for his enemies by just charging around, baiting fireballs, but none of them hits him. So yeah, doing a good job for now. But red team, Chum's team, is doing a good job of kind of limiting both Sorks to a corner of the map, so their visibility and their angle into which they can throw fireballs is very limited. But look at that, we just saw a glimpse at Chum's HP, and he's down to 25% as well. So very dangerous there, but those Sorks have to be careful, man. This is the last match, very high pressure. If they lose this match, they're out of the tournament. And Malice trying to set up some hammer fields, but can't quite get an angle. It's a really poor angle for a hammered in there. Chums comes in, roots out the Sork out of there with traps. She teleports out back to south, and now they're back in toward shooting the middle. Not too sure if anything is landing. I would assume that they have their insights out to keep their mana healthy. Malice, did you see what Malice was doing there? He was counting on the Sorks repositioning without looking where they were going, and blindly going up north and getting caught by hammers, but it didn't work. Bowie knew better. He was ready. He just went out really slowly, saw what he was doing, rooted him out with fireballs. And look at that, both Hammerdins charging around the Sorks. Very high pressure, but unfortunately for them, none of them landed. So far Bowie has been, he didn't get hit by much. He's happily regenning HP at a very slow pace, because you have to remember that energy shield Sorks can only have up to 10 replenish life compared to the cap of 22 for other classes, and Bowie is able to kill Dragon Knight. So now it's 2 against 2, Chum against Chum and Malice against both Sorks. So and it's looking pretty bad for Chum's team right now, because Bowie is half HP and he has to be low to keep the pressure on. It's energy shield Sorks take very little reduced damage from lightning sentry sins. So Jester is pretty low. So if Chum can pick up that kill with open wounds or with traps or getting caught by hammers or whatnot, there could be some. There's always hope, obviously, but Jester and Bowie are very, very cautious players. They don't easily get damaged by things. Chum obviously has the advantage of terrain. He can put traps a bit everywhere, but approaching 2 fireball Sorks must be really, really hard. Jester and Bowie are kind of split apart. Jester being up north, Bowie at the bottom. I'm not sure if they're landing any damage though, but for sure they are replenishing HP. So, oh my god, and Bowie seeing an opportunity to go aggressive, almost kills Chums. Like one more fireball and it would have been death. He's probably he's very low right now. They'll be very, very safe. we'll see if this is enough to bait Bowie into going into a hammer field. It's all in Malice, honestly. Chum is really low. If he gets hit by one thing, he's dead. So Malice has to make some plays, land some random hammers. Jester up north, just throwing fireballs at nothing, just hoping it's someone runs into them if they're not being careful. But knowing how low Chum is, I don't see him ever moving out of his area. They're very low, so both sides are kind of chilling out. Sorks to replenish their HP and Chum to replenish life. So here, no, that was not Chum dragonflighting. That was his clone. So he's very low, and instantly dies. But at a cost, though. He took about 300 HP from Chum's damage. 300 HP from RTF. I'm not sure what that means, but he took 300 HP of Bowie's HP. So now it's 2v1 against Malice. Not looking good, and Bowie's looking to 1 kill away from winning this round. If Malice can make it do, we have to believe all it takes is one teleport. But honestly, these Sorks are very, very. I mean, they're not gonna telestomp a Hammerden. They'll just stay around, and unfortunately, like Chum just said, the Hammerdens being paired together rather than split apart in teams is really, really devastating against higher characters. But such is the way of random duels. You have to make sure your character is very versatile against a variety of different players. So very well played for Bowie's team, coming back super clutch from 0-4 to 5-4. Well done to everyone on that team, and well done to Chum's team as well. So yeah, we'll move on to the second semifinals. So duels are starting. Both teams said go. There we go. Diesel going in right away as a liberator, jumping straight away on the boson, taking some damage but not too much. Grim going in right away. Grim remember, he's a Dragon Claw Sin, so he has very low block against a boson. Might be very dangerous for him. But so far, the Trapper instantly dies as soon as the duel started, so I think it was Dragon Claw doing it. Shaho casting amplify damage, seems like, but the boson dies as well as the Dragon Claw Sin, so it's down to a 2v1 against Dana White, and the Necromancer dies, so it's it's a Whirlwind Barb against a Liberator, and not only is it a Whirlwind Barb, it's a Whirlwind Barb with 2 scepters, no shield. So we'll see what he's going to try to make do. I think he has a Tele Staff, but it's this kind of matchup is heavily favored for the Hammerden, obviously, but he was so low HP, so the Barb was allowed to just go in with a teleport, Whirlwind away, and it was enough to kill them. So well done, Grimm's team, 1-0. Up to the second match. Duel is about to start. Dana White's team says go, and Shaho's team says go. Duel is about to start. Hammerden going in right away, trying to hammer with a spirit. Takes very little damage even though he goes down, but now bam, he gets chunked by what I think is the Whirlwind Barb, down to half HP. Necromancer also taking some damage. Boson is pretty safe up here. He's isolated, trying to shoot arrow, but here comes the Necromancer close to him, but it's not enough to raise Ferdia. And it seems like it's a very close, not close, but very, very convincing win yet again for Dana White's team. So well done, 2-0. Alright, third duel starting. Diesel once again going in, casting some hammer, running out. Not taking too much damage, nobody's punishing him. Red team kind of sitting on their traps and bosons, but Diesel doesn't give a shit. He goes in, casts hammers, but look at how punished he is. He gets down to 100 HP. Grim does the same thing, goes in and instantly dies. Sadly, so the boson team heavily favored on there. Dana White chasing out the Necromancer with 2 scepters, and it's looking very, very grim for Grim's team. So 3-0. So fourth duel starting. Bone Necro this time casts Bone Walls, but instantly is destroyed by some guided arrows. Diesel going in and gets heavily punished. I'm not sure if it was worth it. It seems so. They took a player down, but at what cost? Diesel is super low as well as Grim. So both the Whirlwind Barb and the Boson were left, but Grim Dawn, that's a game. Grim was, even though he was super low, it was enough to keep the Zon in hit recovery and killed her. Now it's a 2v1 situation against the Whirlwind Barb. And look at that, he kills the Necromancer. And now he's back against the DC Sin, but this is bad because she doesn't have any block. Oh wow, she has a Blade Fury set up. I didn't know that. And look at that, trying to punch the Whirlwind Barb, but unfortunately, Whirlwind Barb's attack really fast, so it's not enough for Blade Fury Sin. So yeah, that team is up 4-0. All right, so here comes potentially the final round. Both teams says go. Again, Bowal coming out, instantly destroyed by a guided arrow. Diesel flanking on the side, trying to go in and land some hammers. Everyone scatters from him. He takes about 25% damage in retaliation. Oh my god, and he's instantly dead by the Whirlwind Barb. Probably got caught in a really bad mid charge there. Grim goes in as well and dies. So looking very grim for Shaho's team, unfortunately. So it's a Bone Necro up against a Boson, a Trapper, and a Whirlwind Barb, and he doesn't make it, sadly. So Ferdia's team advances to the finals at 5-0. The duel just started right now. Fireballers being somewhat aggressive, going close by, but their Barb going in doesn't quite get the angle there. Fireballer getting stumped by I think it was the Whirlwind Barb. I kind of missed it, honestly. Dana White kind of low, I think. Oh my god, Jester gets instantly taken out by both the Whirlwind Barb and the NATO Druid. So again, Barb taking another kill. Now it's only Bowie left alone against 3 players, and he's full HP and full mana. Obviously, we cannot count him out just yet because it's an ES Fireball Sork, so it's a really strong character. But not looking too good for him. All it takes is one good stomp, and bam goes his mana and his HP. So he takes out one player, but he was already low HP. So it isn't as if like he took all that damage on his own. So now he still has to go against a half HP Barb. And I think Ferdia is pretty high, but it's probably doable, honestly. Fireballer is excessively good against Bosons, so the Barb, excuse me, it's really on the Barb's hand, and it's very hard for a Tele Whirlwind Barb to catch a Sork, simply because their frames are much lower. A Sork has the ability to go for a 105 hit faster cast rate, whereas the Barb is... They can get faster cast rate on their rings and all that, but you're not going to reach 105. So by definition, you're always lower. So Ferdia on his Boson, not really in position to throw some GA. There's a lot of pillars around, so it's kind of hard to get a good angle to shoot her. But there we go. She goes in. Some retaliation there. She loses about 250 HP. Goes back in a corner, casts back her spells, goes back in. Barb is there, but oh my god, she blocked everything. That was a very lucky streak for Bowie. So now only the Barb is remaining, and he's very low HP. He accidental aim lock into a loss, sadly. So well done, Bowie. 1v3. I think he did it from NATO Druid was really low. Barb was, I think, half HP, and I think Ferdia was like 3/4 or something like that. So very well done. So 1-0 Bowie's team. Up to second match. The other team says go. They threw some fireball in advance, but I don't think they landed on anything. So here comes the Whirlwind Barb. He did some damage on Bowie, not that much, but he takes a heavy retaliation. He's down to almost 50% HP. Oh, he took a lot more fireballs there. I'm not too sure how low he is, but oh my god! Ferdia getting caught by 2 fireballers, instantly dies. Now it's only up to the Barb, which is very low HP, and the Trapper running around with half HP. She's very safe. Same for the Druid. He was low HP, so this is pretty much a landslide this time. Not as close. The Barb picks up the kill against the Trapper, but there's 2 Fireballers remaining. These deal very high damage, so they pick it up for a 2-0. Third match about to start. Bowie says go, awaiting his opponent. Waiting, and here it goes. Fireball through the small holes. double fireball into a thing. Bowie casts a couple of fireballs into a wall, doesn't go through that. Ooh, oh my god, I was close. The whirlwind barb went really close to Bowie. He was able to get out, but that could have been devastating. Chips down, taking some chip damage again from the boson. Probably he got a good angle to land some of them. Telenado Druid, pretty low HP, probably got caught by some mix of fire elemental damage. Remember that in LLD, Tornado Druids are not able to recast their Cyclone Armor, so if they lose it, they cannot recast it, and he's against 4 casters. So sadly, this is a really bummer for him, but I mean, such are the rules because the rules are mostly tailored for 1v1. So he's not able to do that. Barb trying to get an angle to get the barb, but the sword can just get in there and tanker, blocking everything. So that's a quick 3-0 for Bowie's team. 4th duel about to start. Both teams say go. Fireballs added right together, shooting in the same direction. I'm not too sure something landed, but oh my god, someone died right away. I think the boson landed some very, very clutch guided arrow there and caught the trapper without a shield out, and she died probably from some lucky hits. Well done from Ferdia right there. So now 2 fireballers are remaining against effectively 3 full HP characters, and there's a very good stomp from Middles, which is on Alienado Druid, that catches Bowie out of position. Let us see if we can quickly jump on his stream to see how the rest goes. The Bowie kind of left too fast, so I'll just hop on middle stream to see if we can catch the rest of the duel. But yeah, I think they're already done. Yeah, they're done. So very, very surprising win, honestly. This goes to see how dangerous a Sork is. It's very, very strong with a pilot that is safe and well built. But if you do one misstep, you can instantly get blown up. So it goes to show that not only the character is important, but also the pilot. You have to be very mindful of the decisions you make when you go. But you know what? It will happen. Stomps will happen some of the time, and this is just it. So score is 3-1, 1-3 for Middle's team. And just for fun, you know what? I think for the next few duels, I think I'll hop between Bowie's stream and Middle's. So obviously, the reason why I favor Bowie is because he's on a Sork. So he tends to be the last player dying. So that way I don't have this problem where someone dies first and I'm left blind and I cannot see the rest of the duel because the die pressed escape or something like that. So that's why I prefer to go on usually a defensive character that tends to die last in a TVT. So a charger or something like that is not ideally what I would favor spectating. It's not that I have any bias for Bowie, even though I think he's a great guy. It's just for his character. ES Sork tend to die the last, so it makes the most sense to spec them most of the time. But just for fun, I'll try I'll try Middle's stream for a couple for the rest. If he dies first, I'll just hop back to Bowie's. So they're getting ready for the next match. Go on each side, and there we go. Almost no downtime in between. So here comes the fireballs. Ferdia shooting GA across the map. Barb trying to not get hit by fireballs. The Grizzly Bear getting a fireball in the face, but it's okay. He's tanky. Ferdia taking a bit of damage. He's almost half HP. Barb about 80% HP, but taking some damage, I assume, from fireball. And yeah, they're trying to get a good angle there, but the fireball Sorks are pretty. They're defending each other, so even if they stomp, they teleport away. The other can retaliate, so it's very hard to approach. Oh my God, oh boy, a lot happening there. So that he got punished by a lot of fireballs, but got a really good stomp and it could take out the trapper. But he's down to 3 fireballs to kill him. 3 fireballs and he's instantly dead. Ferdia died as well, so it's Barb and Telenado, but against 2 fireballers. I mean, it's doable. If they get a really good stomp and coordinate really well on the same person, it can work. And here goes the Barb. I didn't see his HP, how much retaliation he took. So Middles is trying to make something happen there by trying to teleport surprise teleport one of the Sork, but it's really hard. It's because they expect it. They'll still way away from you, and he's low HP. So it's he got the name lock, but unfortunately she breaks it, so he cannot quite land on her. But that was a very good try. He has 13 teleport stabs remaining. The Barb is one fireball off death, so it's looking very grim for them. But it's not over, as you saw. A NATO Druid can oh, that was really close. Barb dies to Jade, and now he's 1 or 2 fireballs off death. So yeah, it's pretty much over unless he can get like some godly stomps. But 2 Sorks will protect each other. It's almost impossible to win this. So he's trying to get a good angle, flanking, using the pillars to block line of sight, seeing if he can make it happen. He's trying to do a CT teleport, see if it works. Can't quite get there. The Sorks teleport away. He's out of mana almost. And here goes the teleport, but no, she was covered by the other Sork, and he also ran out of mana. So even though he could, there was nothing else to do. So I think it's for... I forgot the score. But I think it's 2-4. Well, we'll see in the next. We'll just follow it. I'm not too sure. I lost count. All right, so here comes. I think it's potentially the finals, but I don't think so. We'll see. But here it starts. Bear taking some damage, not a problem. Fireballs going a bit everywhere, hard to dodge, but as well as the lightning sentry. But Middle's not taking any damage. Well played there. So they're trying to find an angle to go in, but seems really hard. Middle's amazing teleport from the Dana White teleports on the Trapper, instantly kills her in probably just a couple of whirlwinds. Probably got a nice lock from Ferdia as well. So really nice snipe there. But the Sorks are the very dangerous players. They're really tanky and they do a lot of damage. So a Trapper, even though it's a very great victory, that doesn't mean that you will win this. You have to kill 2 energy shield Sork that protect each other. So here comes the chain locks. He loses it, unfortunately. Ferdia is still alive, protected by the Barb. Both fireball Sorks trying to retaliate. Oh, Ferdia getting hit by a fireball. Here comes Jade, and oh, the Barb went in, but I didn't see him commit on that. He teleported in and then out immediately, so he was not able to kill that Sork when Middles had him. So yeah, the Middles died. The Sork went out. He took some damage, but not as much as he could. So now both the Barb, both the Boson and the Windy Druid is against the Barb. Very tall order for the Barb, looking really grim. I'm not too sure if this is the final duel. I don't think so, but yeah, they can just like stay off screen of him, protect each other when he goes in, and unless he gets some godly crits or hits, it's going to be really hard for him. Down to half HP. Bowie's kind of low on mana and HP. If he's not careful, he could die from a single whirlwind if the Barb is lucky. He's trying to get some cool angles here going in, whirlwinds, but I mean the Sork are not giving him a single inch. Seems to be very, very difficult. Another stomp there, but Bowie was ready and just teleported out. Oh, I think Barb landed some good hits on Jester, but look at his HP, he's almost still full, so it probably only took out mana, probably some low roll hits and no crits. So yeah, Dada's still trying to make something happen. Bowie staying in the corner, regenerating mana real casually. Now they try to be a bit more aggressive. They see that Barb is very low HP, so they can afford to do some sacrificial hits like going like that. And there we go. The Barb loses, and I'm not sure if they won the tournament. Let me ask around. I'll be back in like 5 seconds.
I need to go to the
Was that it,
store.
or what's the score?
5-1.
Okay, so you guys won.
Yeah, we won.
Yes, sir.
Well played, guys.
Well played. Move back up in Team A, please.
Okay, move up in Team A. Okay, sounds good.
All right, so that was the final round. So congratulations to Bowie's team. So Jester, Bowie, and Chips Down is our 3 first place finalists. And second place will be obviously Middles, Ferdia, and I think it's let me check. I forgot his name. Yeah, the Telebarb, down on white. My bad. So yeah, congratulations to both teams. Really cool matches.